What if the person everyone gave up on turned to be the one who refused to give up on himself? And what if rock bottom wasn't the end of the story, but the start of a remarkable new chapter? See, I've got an author I want you to meet whose memoir isn't just about overcoming. It's about transforming fear into focus, pain into purpose. And the lessons he shares, they're as practical as they are powerful. Stick around, because you'll not only learn more about the book, you'll learn about the writing journey this author took to create it. And if you've ever felt stuck or sidelined or underestimated, this is a conversation you don't want to miss.
Welcome to A Book Finds You podcast. This week's guest is Michael Watyoka. Join us as he shares the inspiration behind his book, along with his writing process, routines, and challenges. And now here's your host, best-selling author, Rob Jolles.
From repeated academic rejection to summa cum laude honors, from lost to leading, today's guest, Michael Watyoka, is a man who transformed his pain into power and now helps others do the same. His memoir, Swimming in Murky Waters, is as raw as it is inspiring because, as Michael says, sometimes the darkest waters are where we learn to swim. Happy to have you with us, and welcome to the show, Michael.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you for having me.
You bet. And it's a pleasure. So I want to dive right in with you, and I'm going to deviate from my typical first question. I want to get to hear more about the journey from this academic failure to graduating summa cum laude with an MBA. How did you make that turnaround?
Yeah, thank you for that. So it was a difficult time because I was living in a small, pretty village, and this village was very far away from the city. So because of that, there was no running water, electricity, and it was difficult. We would move and walk long distance to school, more than 5 miles. So resultantly, I could not get enough time to study. So in doing so, inevitably, the grades would not come out well. Resultantly, I failed national exams, which are more like ninth grade to 12th in the USA, and I failed repeatedly. But I was very resolute. I could not give up. I was relentless, and I kept moving. And I kept moving, and then until I get to a position or a place in the USA where electricity is there, Wi-Fi is available, resources are conducive. And then I said to myself, this is my golden opportunity. I need to redeem my esteem, my everything that I thought I can be better and a better person. And that's exactly what I did. And I took everything. I studied very hard. I worked with the professors. I would sleep much late in order for me to redeem myself. And resultantly, I had a GPA of 3.9 out of 4, and I got some scholarship and a multi-award winning MBA graduate.
Yeah. You know, it's almost like where we take for granted our electricity and our running water, we also take for granted how easy it's at least made for us to academically succeed. And what you remind us of is sometimes even the simplest things, like running water. I actually, on my spare time, I'm a live auctioneer, if you can believe that, and I do work for charities, and one of them is called Hope for a Healthier Humanity. And all they do is bring water into tribes, into areas that have to walk miles and miles. And it is an emotional experience for those communities when there's just a well in town to pull from. So unless you've experienced it like you have, or at least I've been able to look at it, I think it's hard for people to fathom what you've just told us. But maybe it makes us all a little bit more appreciative to hear your story.
Thank you for that. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Have you ever, this is obscure, and I'm betting you've never seen this movie, but I got a movie I want you to see, and it's from the 60s. And I'll remind you after the show, too. It's a movie called Cool Hand Luke. And it's with an actor named Paul Newman. I'm not sure if you've ever heard that name. You might see his salad dress. If you go to the supermarket, you'll see some Paul Newman things. He's no longer with us. Wonderful movie and a tremendous scene where he's in a fight. And the man he's fighting, Michael, is 2 times his size.
Okay.
Monster of a man. And this man knocks him down with the first punch and he gets back up and he knocks him down again. He gets back up. The scene takes 3 or 4 minutes because he keeps getting knocked down, but he keeps getting back up. And in the end, and it's a circle, that big man walks out of the circle realizing, I can't beat this guy because he won't stay down.
Wow.
That is you, sir. That's my new nickname for you. You're Cool Hand Luke, Cool Hand Michael.
Thank
But it's
you. Thank
inspirational,
you so much.
really inspirational. Tell me about the book a little bit. How did the book find you? Again, we know you didn't find it, it found you. I got the academic story. When did the book hit the horizon?
Yeah. When I started working for, in these Fortune 500 companies, because it was my dream coming from Africa, and I dreamt, I see people reading news. I read on television, the Wall Street and everything, and I got intrigued. And I just said, one day, I wish I could be there. So, because of that now, I realize that as we go through in life, we face some difficulties. Some they could be seasonal, some could be months, some can go for years. Mine would be like 6 years stuck. So just say I think this kind of my life story, if I don't share it, there's someone out there who desperately need the comfort, the motivation, the encouragement, and the power will to overturn the struggles and challenges. So I just said, it will not be justice if I don't say out my life story, because I
Mhm.
know my life story connects with different people. Some could be people who be maybe they've lost their jobs, and some they're on a career stagnation, and some also businesses are failing, they're not scaling up. And then to me, I say these are murky waters. So I use the metaphor murky waters as in challenges. So you have to come out of those murky waters, but there are lessons that are prepared and strategies that I've put in the book so that they can connect with my life stories of challenges and then they can so relate to people regardless of geographical standing, regardless of the situations, because wherever there is a place of uncomfortable, people they don't want, we don't want to get in that.
Right.
So in that space, that's where I said, okay, I have to come up with a book. Let me share my story, but not just sharing my story. Then I'm going to spice it up for personal growth and also for business, also as an MBA graduate, so that I can try to blend the things together. But I realize it resonates and connect with people at every different sphere of life, regardless of the position, regardless of age. So I believe this book is should be globally. Maybe people can relate to it globally, and that's why I came up with the book "Swimming in Make Waters."
Yeah. Which is really, I think you're what we call an unconscious competent. Take that as a compliment, by the way. An
Thank you.
unconscious competent person means like a natural athlete. Sometimes we do things the right way and we have no idea we're doing them the right way. It's just natural. And I'm going to tell you what I'm applying to. I think most people lose sight of the fact that we're not really writing the book for ourselves. We're writing it for the audience. When
Right.
you present, and I know this is an avenue that you're going to want to go towards and speak on behalf of this book, all the decisions you make really are for the audience. People say, "Well, where do you want to stand on stage?" Well, I want to stand on the place where the audience can see me the most. Well, we've only got 15 minutes. What 15 minutes do you want to talk about? Well, I'm going to pick the 15 that applies best to the audience. So you're a very natural, competent person in terms of you've got the right message, which is not many people have this when they're writing, which is your reasoning is all about your audience. I wish more authors would become in touch with that. I think they'd write better books if they did. So now you're what we call a conscious competent. Now you know what you know. Okay, before you didn't know that you knew it, but you're doing it the right way. Let's talk about the book a little bit more. Uh, what was the easiest part of the book to write for you? And but books are a journey, but sometimes there's one part where it almost writes itself. Which part of that was for you?
Yeah, I think the easiest part was more of the narrating kind of thing, because it's something that you've lived and it's something that even if when you're asleep, you just wake up,
Yeah,
this is my journey and I can share with people. Yeah,
right.
that was to me, I think that was the most easiest part. And in regard to that, it didn't take much time for me to come up with this one, to draft, put a structure, and then from there, boom, I was going.
Yeah. Well, good for you. You don't have to do a whole lot of research on you, huh? A lot of the fictional writers, they're really trying to dig in and kind of figure out this character and get it accurate. You just had to stay true to yourself. So let's flip the question a little bit. What was the hardest part of the book for you to write?
Yeah, the hardest part was trying to. So I just said, okay, fine. If people get to hear the story part of it, so what is their benefit? Okay, what about to someone who has never passed through these, what I call murky waters,
Yeah.
right? So I just said, okay, let me try to blend in those who have not faced the murky waters, right? According to the metaphor that I used to try to engage the feeling, the emotion, and the creativity. So I just said, okay, let me blend and try to give some lessons and strategies. So I tried into building some business concepts and connecting the business concept to my life story. Now that one, it took a little bit of more of my time because I wanted to connect the topics, lessons like the power of networking. I talked about going beyond the pain barrier, connecting with my life story, and also to personal growth and also to business. And topics like lessons like take charge of your life. There's no one who's come to save you. So all those things, when I try now to connect it so that it become a holistic book. Now, to me, sometimes it swept me off the rocks, and then I leave it there. Then I just give 2 weeks. Then about I said, oh, but I have my story with this practical experience or lessons and strategies. Someone out there, a reader, can be assisted. So I say, okay, let me take it back. I, I went on my laptop and then I tried to, write a little bit. Then some words come in. Then you say, oh, but the flow is coming up. I think. And then from there, I was building little step by little step by little step until all the chapters and the lessons came up.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is one foot in front of the other when you're writing a book. It's a little intimidating if you look way down the road as to where we're going. But if you just keep it's almost like when I was a runner, a distance runner, and you learn to look about 8 feet in front of you, not 20, not straight down, but about 8 feet in front of you. I think that's you as a writer a little bit, where you've got to stay where you are and got a little bit of a look at the horizon, but not too much, and keep you in place. So good for you. And I also want people to understand that yours is unusual. I want to encourage others who are listening to this, who are writing their memoirs, that what Michael's done by not just telling his story, but really carrying a heavier load in writing, but writing towards a business audience, trying to extract the message, not to, help the audience figure out why, not the story you told, but why you told the story, what they can learn from it. What that does is it sets up a potential speaking opportunity. And I can tell you right now that Michael is gearing up, as most authors should, to not just write this book, to go out and begin and talk to businesses and talk to organizations. So good for you. We'll do it at the end, but let's do it right now. How do people get in touch with you if they wanted to hear you speak on this book?
Yes, so right now what I'm doing, the website is under construction. I think by the 10th of June it should be out. But meanwhile, I have the Facebook page, which is called Grow Wise Wealth Builders, as in grow as in GROW, and wise as in wisdom, and wealth as in wealth, and builders as in building.
Yeah.
So that's the page I share part of the experience of the book and some of the insights. And I just hope by the 10th of, I will update you with the details of the website so that people can also get to see the book. And they can also go to Amazon where they can see this book. I think I shared also the link. Maybe we'll make an effort to
Well,
also.
Michael's showing it to me, but my listeners won't be able to see that. But it's
Oh,
a
yes.
nice looking cover. Show it to me one
Thank
more
you.
time. I want to see something. Show me that
Oh,
book.
yes. Thank you.
Every author. All right, slide it down a little bit. Got it. Swimming in murky waters.
Yes.
Okay, and beautiful. Okay, now to make it simpler, and we'll push on. How about an email address? That way,
Oh,
we
yes.
don't have to worry about
Oh,
the
yes.
website quite yet.
That's
What's
fine.
that?
That's fine. So email address it's M for mother and then my last name at Gmail. So my last name is Watyoka at gmail.com. So it's Watyoka at gmail.com.
Perfect. Okay. All right. We now return to our regular scheduled program and dig into Michael's writing. All right. How about let's see. When you when you started writing the book, did you have an end in mind, or did it sort of wander and you ended up maybe in a place you didn't think you were going to end up in?
Yes, yes, that's very true. Since it's my first my debut book, you have a lot of things now that you sometimes you want to structure this way, and then we realize when you're writing, say, oh, I think I have to rearrange. I think I have to. So you find sometimes you're being swept off the ground, but the resilience that in that is me kept me like, oh no, pick it up, pick up your pieces, all right, get the thing on the ground, keep on writing, right? If you don't see the clarity, just find your fingers, write something, and then after some time, go and do a little bit of what I was writing. What is it all about? Then say, oh, I see. I think I have
Right.
a point. Then you start now getting back on track, and that one helped me very much.
Yeah, and what you've outlined, and everybody has their own way, and that's why one of the things I love about this show, because you listen to 30 episodes, you'll hear 30 slightly different ways of doing it. But even those that outline a book will tell you that no matter how tight that outline is, still expands and contracts and takes little journeys left and right. And quite frankly, I'm curious if you agree or disagree that sometimes the areas that weren't in the outline that just pulled us are our favorite parts of the outline, of the favorite parts of the book. And we didn't even intend to go there when we started.
That's very true. It happened, once you say, okay, everything was on plan,
Right.
everything, the topics were there, the narrative and my life story was also there on plan. And then when you just trying out to connect the dots because you're trying to come up with something new, this is not an MBA research. Yeah, I've realized one thing. A book is totally different thing. You're trying to put some emotions, you're trying to bring some creativity. You want your reader to like, I don't want to get off this book. I just want to more like a page turner.
Right.
So, so,
Right.
so you thinking along those, a lot of thoughts kind of rush through your mind and say, okay, how can I spice it up? How can I make it, interesting for a reader so that a reader will like having the kind of, that creative imagery, like, okay, I think I can see, I think I can feel, I can hear.
Right.
That's what exactly what I'm
Yeah.
about.
I heard somebody say once that I was watching a cooking show, and when I was watching it, there was a guest chef, and he tasted this person's meal, and he said, you cooked the chicken perfectly. It's absolutely perfect. He said, but your sauce is off. He said, and 75% of the meal is the sauce. You know where I'm going, Michael? I think that what you've just described in a sense is, yes, I'm going to tell my story, but I want to spice it up. And I want to put some sauce on it. To make it interactive as a sauce. To apply it to not just people but businesses. That's saucy to me. You know what I mean? And for we us authors, and welcome to the club. That's the part that genuinely makes us smile. It's the sauce that we put on it, right? Not the story, but the sauce.
That's
Yeah,
very true.
yeah, yeah. How about do you do you have? I mean, are you? Let me form this question. Do you have a certain approach to writing, meaning I write the same time each day in the same location for the same amount of time, or are you kind of more sporadic in your writing?
Yeah, it was more like structured writing, but to make fun of things, I know you laugh this one. You know, I when I'm writing, I normally like to write like in a car. I'll be outside the normal living room, right?
Look at me laughing
It's a
in
little
a
bit
car.
strange.
No, the police officers are interested in this. So you're writing in your car, are you?
I ride in the car, and I like to go to places like, okay, in the car, maybe I just park my car down there. Then I just the kind of birds are chirping, the environment is kind of serene, it's cooler and it's serene. And then I grab my laptop. Then I just start writing there because I believe I need that concentration and I need to concentrate at a high level. And I like a place also that is a little bit that makes my body a little bit relaxing and a little bit like I'm not doing job, but at the same time the mind knows I'm doing a job.
Yeah. I'm not laughing at you at all, by the way, because you may laugh at me. At least two of my books, if not three, I'm kind of going over in my head, definitely three. Uh, I wrote every page in the air. I wrote them in airplanes
Wow.
because I was traveling 75, 100,000 miles a year for seminar delivery. And you know what? Like that little spot you pulled off to in the car where no children were bothering you. We love our children, but where everything was quiet and no internet pings. That's the airplane for me. I'm a very social guy, but you hate me on an airplane because I am not talking to you if you're sitting next to me because I'm preparing to write. My mind is actually the moment, like when you slow that car down and you know where you're going, the mind is already like going so fast, you're almost telling it, wait, 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 let me just put it in park. That's me. I'm going, wait, 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 let me just get to 10,000 feet so I can open my laptop. But yeah, that's the beauty of writing. We all have our own little places and ways of doing it. Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah, yeah. How about what's the most challenging part of writing for you?
Yeah. I think the most part was like when I say my story, this is my life story, right? It was difficult for me, like, okay, fine. If a person would read it this way, can a person deduce some lessons or some practical things that like I could call them take home? What's a
Right,
take?
right.
Right. So from there, what is exactly that you've learned from this? Because I believe it's more about not just about me, but about there's someone right now who is facing some challenges. And my message was in the book was like, okay, fine. You have these challenges, right? You have to turn that pain into gain, right? Turn that scar into a star and turn that lemon into lemonade. And above all, don't give up, but gear up.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna show Michael something now that he showed me his cover that no one saw. I'm going to show him a little something that I keep on my desk, and I had no idea that we were talking today. But
Wow.
it's just a stone that says "Never, never quit." Figured you'd
Oh,
like that.
yes.
And believe me, I don't have 15 stones on this desk. I have one.
Wow.
So you've got a fan because I really do admire. That's why I want to push you to that movie when we're done,
Oh,
because you'll
yes.
see a scene that you're really going to connect with of a person that isn't the strongest, isn't the quickest, is well overmatched, but he's got one thing the other person doesn't have. He will not quit. And for writers, that's really often what separates us. My dad, classic old school saying would say, "See that guy over there? He's just like you. He puts his pants on one leg at a time." My dad was a Marine, but what he was communicating was, don't be intimidated by that person. He didn't usually wasn't usually just pushing at anybody. He was pointing at somebody that was elevated, that would intimidate you, and reminding me one leg at a time, just like you. Uh, but we have to be reminded that because for writers, and this is your first book, Michael.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
my first.
particularly for your first book, you got to be reminded every there that now and then that's you're just like that guy over there with with Stephen King puts his pants on one leg at a time. I'm pretty sure. Okay, might have somebody help him put his pants on. I don't know. He's a very wealthy guy, but point being that we don't need to be intimidated by this. We just need to listen to what you said and the rock that I just showed you, which is we're just not quitting. and we can all accomplish this goal. All right, we're coming down the home stretch. Let's talk about the publishing and marketing side of this. Book is new. Is it even out yet?
Yeah, it's on Amazon. It's
Okay.
Amazon, right? It's actually new, yes, just published 20th April, but I think updated 9 May. So it's a new
Okay.
book. It's on Amazon.
Good.
Yes, so I went as a self-publisher, right? So I wanted to go via the traditional, but I realized, there were a lot of things. So I was kind of like, if I keep on like, okay, I hear this one say this one, they take money. I said, I think if I keep on delaying, the book will not get out. I
Mm,
just want the book to be out.
yeah.
So what I did, I went to a good friend of mine. So she wrote actually a book. And then I just said, okay, I want to try to have this one come out and said, oh, I just self-published my book. So what I'm going to do, just go on YouTube and then go follow the steps and on KDP. And then once you do that, try by yourself. If you cannot just make it, then just call me and then I can assist you. So that's what happened. And until I landed the journey. And it was also fulfilling because it's like from the start of writing until to the production, until you see it out, to me, it was fulfilling.
Well, good for you. I will tell you that for over 30 years, I conventionally published books. And then recently, in the last couple of months, I self published a book. I did it for a couple of reasons. One of them was I was mentoring a lot of authors, and I'd never self published a book, which meant I couldn't answer many of the questions. ISBN numbers, things like that. When they asked me a question, I would go, I don't know. My publisher does that for me. But the interesting thing in the value of self-publishing, there's many values to it. One of them is you really learn the book world. You learn about purchasing ISBN and how to put a cover together and the type of formatting that's needed for an ebook versus for there's so much that it's actually kept from a conventionally published author. I'm going to give you another compliment, or at least let's make lemonade out of this. I think that a lot of times, particularly with hybrid scenarios, we put a lot of money into the publishing of a book. Now, everybody has their own opinion, but I'm of the opinion that says we all have some sort of budget. It may be a small budget, a big budget. Me, I want to put as much budget as I can into the marketing of the book
Yeah.
because you could be with the biggest publisher in this country. You still have to market your own book as an author, but you can use up a lot of that budget because I can tell you right now, even the big publishers, if you feel like buying 5,000 of your own books, they'll be happy to publish you. But there goes your budget and then some. So I'm hoping by doing it the way you did, whatever budget we have, we can now apply to marketing. And ultimately, that's going to determine the success of the book, the marketing side.
That's very true. I agree with you.
Yeah. And being on this show today is a marketing move for you. And I want people, that's why authors, we need to be looking for more podcasts. So, and one more thing. Now we know that Michael's book is on Amazon, and I forgot the name of it. What's it called again?
Swimming in murky waters.
Right.
Swimming in murky waters.
Yeah. I'm gonna just fix that one word which you're saying, but I want to put my swimming in murky waters. Okay.
Yes.
Just in case somebody's all right. Find that book. It's on Amazon. I already checked it and looked at it. And for goodness sakes, not only when you buy a copy of that, and I hope people will, put a review on the book. And if you're an author, you owe it to every author that you're connecting with. Because guess what? You want them putting reviews on your book. So every author, this is not a request, this is an order. And for any listener, this would be a nice thing to do. All right. Last question. We've got other people that are aspiring to write books, and maybe they think this is too big a task for them. It intimidates a lot of people. They didn't get the Lee Jolles one leg at a time speech. What would you tell them to maybe inspire them to, if this is their dream, to go after it?
Right. So my message to them is go for it. If you hear there's a soft voice, I believe there's a kind of soft voice that speaks to your mind. Like, I think you gotta write a book. Then it kind of disappears. And then while it's still driving, like meditation and reflection, it kicks in. I
Right.
think you gotta do something.
Right.
Or you can hear a friend say, "Oh, but I think you can narrate this." So you have to join all these points: the soft voice, the message from friends, from a colleague, and then from there, just start. Just start to write, even if 3 lines. Just start it, but and make consistent. Like, okay, after 3 lines, say, okay, I'm gonna get back, write something, and jot something, and then from there, over a series of time and a period of time, you see the book is coming out slowly but surely.
Yeah. And you gain momentum by doing what you just said. You know, when I was talking about, put one foot in front of the other, sometimes we just have to put one word in front of the other. And then we have a sentence, and then we have a paragraph, and then we have a page. Who knows? Maybe we got a chapter. I bet you found this to be true. As tough as it was to get going, once you get going, you get about 2 chapters under your belt. Boy, the third one wrote a little bit easier, a little bit faster, because we're almost like a snowball coming down a hill, and we're picking up momentum. Well, guess what? We're at the halfway mark. Oh my goodness! Now it's really coming along. But let's keep our eyes 8 feet in front, like a runner. One word in front of the other. Don't be intimidated, and let it rip. That's always my bottom. And I'm going to add, I don't know whether you agree with this. I have writers that really don't agree with what I'm about to say, but I really think that sometimes we just get lost in writing and editing and re-editing and re-editing and re-editing. I've spoken to people who've got one chapter for 5 years. They're writing one chapter. My thing is one word in front of the other. Don't like a racehorse with blinders on. Just keep moving forward. Let's get the manuscript done. Then we'll go back and we'll edit and we'll pick at it. But I think books die in the editing process and they never get moving out of the first chapter. That's what I notice.
I agree with you 100%.
Oh, good.
You agree. The more you do it to work on it, I say, oh, I don't think it's valuable. Should I? Can I? But the more you do that and everything, then
Yeah.
keep pushing, and eventually you come out of it.
Yeah. And one more thing just to add to that, we'll leave it alone. But I think another reason we do ourselves a disservice by editing, re-editing is when we're re-editing, we don't know it, but our mind is tired of reading what it wrote. Problem is, remember when we started and we said, where's our focus? On the audience.
Oh,
Well, the
yeah.
audience hasn't read this. They'll be reading it for the first time. So our mind can fool us and say, but that's kind of tired. Well, it's tired because you've read it 1,700 times already. Give it to somebody else to read. Tell them how well they like it. It's fresh to them. And that's who we're writing for, the audience. So I'm glad you reminded us of that as well. Uh, one more time, how do people get a hold of you? And let's do the email address.
Okay.
But we know the websites are coming. Okay.
Okay. So the email address is MW for water, A for apple, T for Tom, Y for York, O for orange, K for knowledge, A for apple at gmail.com. So it's MWATYOKA at gmail.com.
Right. Perfect. All right, my friend. Listen, been a pleasure getting to know you. Loved having you on your show. I love your story, and I don't do this often. Go ahead and listen, but I'm getting that book of yours, and I don't want a free book because I want to not only get it, but I want to put a verified review on there. I want others to get it too. It's an inspirational story. You are an inspiration, sir, and I wish you nothing but luck in the future on this book. Congratulations. Welcome to the club.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much, Rob.
You bet. Well, we'll do it again as well as we can next time, everybody. Until then, stay safe.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's guest author, we'd love you to rate, review, and share this episode with others. If you'd like more information on today's guest or the Maryland Writers Association, please visit our website at marylandwriters.org. You can also hear a brief history of the Maryland Writers Association by listening to episode 0.